Hello, Mr. and Mrs. Paladins. Thank you for coming to the parents' evening. I'm sure you're eager to hear how your child has been doing this year. And as a preface, all I can say is buckle up. This is going to take me a while. So below my last video on this topic, I said that I'd make another one of these videos on patch 2.05. I just typed a random number back then. There was no basis behind that choice of patch. Well, I missed a little bit, didn't I? But I'm here now. So let's reassess the game. And because so many people had a problem with watching a half-an-hour video and seeing that this one is an hour long, I'm just going to put this bit at the start. Out of context, anything I say can be misconstrued as vitriol for vitriol's sake, and that I'm demeaning you for no reason other than the satisfaction. But this is all produced with the idea I have that unfiltered fury will get my point across and incentivize change for the good better than sugary sweet cocksucking. The angry approach worked once. Kind of. So I'll do it again. I understand that the last video was called out by several people for being unprofessional, toxic, mean-spirited, and all that bullshit. And, you know, I've taken all that reception into consideration. So, in this video, I'm not changing fucking anything. I legitimately don't care who is offended, because your feelings do not fucking matter when it comes to my desire, and a lot of other people's desires, to have this game prosper instead of writhe and die. So, what's improved? There's the topics I brought up last video. Ranked hasn't improved much, and it likely never will with this kind of a player count. Now, the reward structure was improved a little bit, moving the skin to one that requires a substantial time investment, but it still doesn't scream prestige to me. I still want true incentives to climb to Master and GM, especially because I'm already facing the best people in the world while I'm Diamond 5. That means I have no reason to climb any higher than I am. I'm not proving myself against other Diamond players, I'm proving myself against GMs from the very beginning, which means we may as well all be a fucking GM at that point. Here's how I think ranked matchmaking works. There's this wall of platinum in the middle that bleeds into these two sections of bronze, silver, gold, and diamond master GM. Everyone on the right plays with each other, and everyone on the left plays with each other, and platinums fill the gaps for either side. Now, ideally, you'd want 7 distinct sections like this platinum wall, where everyone keeps within their zone, except in exceptional circumstances. Now, I still don't have a reason to climb the ladders, except for the content it gives my stream. I mean, they love the fucking rage. So do you, you're watching this video. The whole fucking last video was built upon rage. But even that isn't a good enough reason to subject myself to that self-flagellation of a fucking playlist. The removal of champion leaderboards was required because it only promoted exploitative behavior. This was nothing but good. I'm glad they did it. The illusion of choice was remedied by removing a talent from each champion, although some removals were very questionable. And this begs the question, why do we even have an even number of talents for every champion? If this is a choice-based system where you can't double dip, where every talent accentuates one part of your kit or a certain playstyle, why is having more talents for someone bad? Why can't Furia have kept all 4? Oh, well, honestly, Cherish should have gone, but, you know, whatever. How about, why can't Drogoz have kept all 4? Reign of Terror was a perfectly usable talent, ignoring all the bugs they didn't fix about it. And the reason is not because they'd have to make a new UI, because the current menu already supports scrolling. Regardless, we have more choices now that some really badly designed talents are gone. Unauthorized use was apparently a joke. It was a joke. A year-long prank. Map design is a hot debate. Currently, the hot topic is Fish Market and Bazaar. I'll start with the latter and the newer maps in general. Their new maps seem to be inserting these gimmicks into the maps to varying degrees of success. Shattered Desert's gimmick is largely a band-aid fix to the mistake that a map designer pointed out about 2 weeks into development, where they realized that Drogoz could just sit on any of the flat surfaces they've left open. So they decided to lava it all in some fire that I honestly have never been too bothered by, mostly because they gave Drogoz infinite flight, but that is their best gimmick so far. The Crystal and Water's Gate is one of the strangest implementations of an updraft I've ever seen, because it's the only one I know of that gives up after a few seconds. It'll just flat out kill you if you stay on it too long. To add insult to injury, the crystal is super heavy, so don't fucking touch it or you're just gonna die instantly. Honestly, I don't mind Bazaar that much. I mean, I could ask many questions. For example, why are half of the rooftops ethereal? What the fuck is the purpose of this wall in the context of the fiction? An architect decided that this bit of open space required an L-shaped wall. What is it doing? It's just here. What a fucking waste. Why are there a bunch of roofs that are missing the roof and are literally just the edges? Beyond all that shit, I don't mind it. What I do mind, however, is fucking Fish Market. I fucking hate Fish Market. Why is it the most common map? I mean, it was before Bazaar, but why has it been the most common map? And why has it been the most common for ages? Why do all the buildings in the center of the map come with infinitely high glass pillars that stop me going anywhere near the air above them? Why is this pier only accessible by a single team at the start of a round? So much for fucking symmetrical map design. Why did you add hitboxes to the fucking fish? Why? Why the fuck are the trees bald? Why does it keep fucking showing up every fucking game? Oh, why do I care? Keep it, because I can literally tell people to close the game when they snipe me and get this map, and they'll do it. Even people I've never heard of will quit out of Fish Market because this map is so bad that people will gladly take a 30-minute break if it means not having to play on this abortion of a fucking map. I don't know that name, but I'm assuming that's someone in this community, right?
What were...
Nothing's changed with Team Deathmatch. The spawns still suck fucking balls. Like, you may as well call this Kill Trade District. They took the idea of Call of Duty's revenge spawns way too far, and I'm 99% sure the spawns do not cater to individuals, but to teams. Since basically every engagement is a 5v5 brawl, where single deaths are negligible, as those that die will rejoin the fight from the place they died 3 seconds later. I still do not understand why Snowfall Junction was moved to TDM when it was designed with fixed spawns in mind. Look at this overhead view. You see that there are actual bases on this map. Those bases are symmetrical across this line. This line perfectly lies across the point. This is how, like, every map with fixed spawns is. It has a line of symmetry. Now imagine you move this map away from fixed spawns and you trust your broken piece of shit spawn algorithm to handle the game, and the map has gone to complete fucking shit. The line of symmetry is gone. It's fucking gone. Now you have a scatterbrained map that's completely ruined. Teams can just get raw dogged by the spawns, putting them too far from the enemy team who are sniper heavy. And there's no way to flank this way except by taking a long detour. Yeah, sounds familiar, doesn't it? Please, just move Snowfall Junction back to Onslaught. Like, please, do not sully the map designer's work by putting it in a mode it wasn't built to support. Like, you can't even play it on Onslaught anymore. It was not even an option in custom games. This is a conscious decision they made to ruin a map. And yes, I know it was built for survival, but survival also put you in bases, so it still works. The bots are ever so infinitesimally better. They can't buy items that you can't afford anymore, and that's it. They still can't walk. They still can't do anything. Although I do feel like frontline bots did get better at standing on the point and doing nothing, which in some cases is actually really good, because it gets you a free cap. Very rarely though, that is like 1 in a million. Hidden information is still rampant in this game, and it likely will not be addressed at like years. Just bookmark the fucking wiki. Hell, even the wiki is wrong most of the time. You know what's worse than information being hidden? It's that information will be changed without anyone being told that it's fucking changed. Patch 2.04 removed overkill damage from damage numbers, and it only shows the damage that was actually done, which makes things look way weaker than they actually are, and makes you unable to determine someone's actual damage output if you're looking at the death recap. Seeing overkill numbers was important, in cases where you wanted to know if buying a level of a blue item would increase the number of shots it took for you to die. But no, that's apparently too confusing for new players. Let's fucking change it without telling anyone, and leave everyone to do the mathematics of how hard Kinessa actually hits with steady aim, random crit damage, luminary, field study, hunting party, fire spit, or any combination of the 6, assuming they know how to sum up those damage bonuses and know that some of those are subject to diminishing returns, but only some of them, and there are 2 different kinds of categories there, which means that having all 6 of them doesn't mean they all go in the same calculation. Instead, all the damage amps suffer from diminishing returns, while all the damage taken debuffs suffer from diminishing returns. Then you have to add them together, and then you just have to know that headshots are in their own dimension and just add a fixed damage number at the end of calculation regardless of actual damage. For some champions at least, we don't know specifically yet, I don't fucking know, and then you finally need to compare that to your health total and see at what damage reduction that you can increase the number of shots it takes for you to die. No, instead, we get to see Kinessa doming you for 230 damage. Yo, that is some insane DR. Why do they keep doing shit without telling everyone? Like, please, do you people not have a change log? What is wrong with your version control? That's the end of that section. In the last video, I realized that I went for 30 minutes straight, and not once did I give the bugs their own section. And that was a fatal error. The bugs. This game has been, and is still, one of the worst when it comes to technical integrity and stability. It is diabolically bad. Do not get it twisted. Do not be confused in even the slightest degree. This game is fucking broken. It is a miracle that the executable file manages to launch. I once maintained an online spreadsheet known as The List in all uppercase, which documents most of the non-trivial glitches that plague the game, as well as every known pay-to-win and pay-to-lose skin, which I will cover later. This list has been updated over time with help from my Discord community, and I'd say it covers 75 to 80% of all known non-trivial bugs, the trivial ones being like animation bugs and shit that we don't really care about. This list is absolutely fucking crammed with bugs, and those that aren't highlighted in any color other than gray are those that haven't been addressed in any way and are still present in the game. I appreciate that Evil Mojo are putting a lot of effort into bug fixing. It's apparent, like the number of bug fixes they were doing after my video went up since before it, and I am pleased about that. But this ridiculous amount of bugs and imperfections is the result of several years of incompetence, laziness, and possibly corrupt or brain-dead management stifling their manpower. The amount of shit that's piled up has surpassed that of a molehill and a hill and a building, a mountain, so much that it's left the planet, it's formed its own core, and it's begun orbiting the sun as another planet to join our fucking solar system. I could meander between every bug I really hate for like a few hours. I'm pretty sure I've done that on stream, so I will spare you that, and I'll just go through the big boys that have been around, or are still around. Super heavy walls. Probably the most annoying fucking bug in the game. How the hell do you even code these? The 4th talent bug. At least this was patched, but I had to quarantine an entire Discord channel to make sure no one knew how to do this, beyond the people that were there when it was discovered. Release the Kraken. Y equals MX plus C. Ass. I'd rather forget. This can't ult bug.
Yeah.
Got missed.
Infinite ammo. Infinite power. Console commands being able to be typed by anyone in the game, including this one which lets you type a better ultimate for Buck. No! 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 Why? You can type a better ultimate. Koga munching, and actually munching on any character, especially a Marnie. Champions desyncing on ledges. This is really bad. Like, if you know all the desync spots, you could abuse this. I've done this on stream many times, and the only time someone knew what I was doing was someone who knows me. Basically, a desync is where you sit on a ledge, and on your screen, you're just sitting on that ledge, but on everyone else's screen, your model slowly falls to the ground, and everyone's going to try and shoot your model, and it's not going to hurt you. Some exceptions being like Andrew's fist, which somehow hits you. I don't get why. This is a really bad, very abusable glitch. The color yellow. Auto pick in ranked. How?
Pick back, let's 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 pick back. I'm gonna regret this. Let's pick back.
Even basic shit like collisions, it just doesn't work. Like, I just threw this harpoon through the wall. It just straight up, it just went through the fucking wall. I tried to replicate this, I couldn't do it. One bug that is absolutely game-changing, yet ignored almost globally, is the fact that if you look at someone while they die, if they have an outline while they die, you'll be able to see their outline for half a second when they respawn, wherever that may be. This means that when someone respawns, you know exactly when and from what spawn door. This makes dismounting unfairly easy. Or in the case of Team Deathmatch, you get intel on the enemy's current spawn, so you don't get run over by the people that you just fucking killed. This game just does not fucking work. Like, all of these things should realistically have been dealt with within a few weeks of them being found, but some of these are years old. It's a miracle that we even have a professional league. What must everyone think when something glitches out in front of tens of thousands of viewers, apart from the dozens of times that the spectator client spazzes out or they accidentally show the desktop of the computer being used to spectate it? It doesn't look good for any of us when our best foot forward looks like this.
And this is a lot of damage coming out from Tommy at the moment, who again still is able to dance back and forth as he's able to do so. And this is going to be really interesting to see how that playstyle continues, and if they continue to use Croc as this frontline pressure.
Yes, I know other pro leagues crash, but we can't keep using this argument that, oh, other people are bad as well. That is not a good argument. We're still bad. Everything is on a spectrum. People play this game for money. You've probably heard me say that a lot, but that is the big reason why I get as mad as I do. How is this unstable fucking mess being played as a competitive sport? Every time I get pulled interdimensionally through walls, every time I get stuck on a wall and sink downwards like a bag of shit, every time my projectiles hit and do 0 damage because they no-regged. Wait, hold on. How much damage did that rocket do? Please clip that. Oh, every time I win or lose a game by virtue of someone crashing so hard their computer locks up. Oh, no. Every time the spawn algorithm in TDM purposely tries to get me killed to force a kill trade. Or worse, specifically in Dragon Arena, it's possible for the spawn algorithm to have nowhere to fucking spawn me, so it just puts me in the same place I fucking died, and that includes off the fucking map. 5! Oh! 7! 8! All right, everyone go in the middle. Everyone go in the middle. Everyone go in the middle. Yeah, I spawned. I just have to remember why I'm doing any of this. It's been this fucking long, and we are so far from a good, reputable game that I can recommend to people. I feel like I'm yelling at a glacier to melt faster. I can't help it melt, but I must see it melt. It's the juxtaposition of the company wanting everyone to treat this game as hot shit, and the company not being able to code a fucking straight line that makes me as animated as I am.
Alright. Come on, baby. High res! It's actually fucking broken. Oh my god. None of my abilities get to work. You're locked out for the rest of the game? No fucking way. No way. This is not real life.
the worst bug of all, one that can't simply be captured in a cell in a spreadsheet, is delay. If you somehow never heard of it, this is what they had to say about it in the Pirates Treasure Patch Notes show.
So under investigation, we have occasional delays in ranked customs for some regions.
This is a bug that has existed since the patch in May. I don't remember the fucking name. And it has a wide variety of effects. It could simply mean a small 5-second gap from when you click your champion to when it appears as your choice. Or you could load in without a gun. No weapon! No weapon! My arms! Or you could load into a single player lobby. I'm alone! Where am I? I don't have a... What?
Oh yeah, you're playing another game.
I'm playing...
You're in the void!
I'm playing single player. I also have no cooldowns. Why? Why is he here?
Dude, you bought more albums, right?
Apparently, yeah. I didn't buy an item. Was unable to change the requested map. Yeah. Oh my god. Or you could be sat staring at a stuttering timer for over 5 minutes, and then when the game starts, you lose. I'm in lobby. Well, good for you.
Okay, we're in game.
I'm not. Apparently. Oh, I picked then.
Okay.
You're
Leave it alone.
You're in
Wait,
game.
the entirety of enemy team didn't pick a talent. Well, we are 20-6.
I am at 12 seconds remaining.
Okay, last kill.
My god.
Victory.
You could be Penta trying to scrim and only getting 1 scrim an hour because you're all fucking delayed to hell. Or you could be pausing a custom game and the pause function has fucking delay. The pause? How? I thought it was just in the fucking champ select. Occasional delay issues in ranked custom games. Yet I've had delay in casuals, ranked, casual customs, ranked customs, bot matches, in the main menu, in real life. Like, the way they underplay this just sickens me. What do you mean pause? It's not pause! And the worst part about it is that we caused this. We should have just kept 4th talent to ourselves. Oops. Imagine paladins with the technical stability of Overwatch. That's all I'll say. Salvo buffed. Pay to win skins. The skins are what keeps this game running, and yet they are the reason for one of the most stupid fucking problems that this game has. So stupid that if any other game had it, if any big popular game had it, there would probably be a Jim Sterling video on it, or some thread on the front page of Reddit, because of how scummy it looks from the outside. Paladins is a free-to-play game that offers cosmetics with noticeable advantages or disadvantages, or both, and intentionally implemented or not, that is fucking unacceptable and makes the company look incompetent. Or it makes them look like clever bastards making an underhanded attempt to boost sales of skins via word of mouth. All 3 of these Andro skins had nice silent dashes since their addition, and was only fixed collectively in patch 204. Do you see how fucking old some of these skins are? That kind of response time is awful. Similarly, games-breaking skin advantages are left in the game for a patch or longer, and I can't recall a time when they were addressed in a hotfix, and I don't even think they can be at this point. Abyssal Lord Drogoz had a silent ultimate for the entirety of his release patch, which was repeated with Pyro Warrior Drogoz. Exactly the same sounds and problems. We don't even learn for the fucking past. And it actually gets even worse. Every Drogoz skin right now is silent. So actually, I guess it's not pay to win. Clever. That is cosmic. That's a cosmic brain. Skins like Abominable BK and the Samba rocket launcher are obnoxiously blinding. And they still blind to this day. And the former one has the added bonus of its Grumpy Bombs not sounding like Accelerant Grumpy Bombs, which is also shared with Love Machine BK. So that's 2 pay-to-win skins on the same fucking champion, and they've been pay-to-win even after they allegedly fixed Accelerant. Merrymaker Dredge's weapon creates opaque explosions versus the translucent explosions of other skins. And on low graphics, the reload projectile is a literal 2D square texture with no particles, such that it's essentially invisible to the naked eye. Of course, it's not all good things. There are pay-to-lose skins too. Solely Genos had a stellar wind noise that was far louder than the other skins, and had a really loud idling noise too. However, now this has reversed and it has become a pay-to-win skin. Both non-default Moji skins have insanely loud scampers compared to the default, which defeats the purpose of her trying to sneak around. I mean, that is what a flank is meant to do, right? We'll get onto class definitions later. Remix Genos used to make every ally affected by his heal emit a map-wide stellar wind noise that made the whole game sound like a hairdryer was running. Several of them. That was fixed, but now the effects of him entering and exiting stellar wind are visible through walls. The Mech Drogo skin has a really loud fire spit noise compared to every other Drogo skin, and the problem here is that I can't unequip it because I have an unobtainable rocket launcher. The reason I have it is because of the 4th talent bug. Yep, that was another sacrifice we had to make when we cooperated with the devs to fix the 4th talent bug. We forever locked away the one way to equip Lost Recolors of yore. On a similar pay-to-lose thread, the speeder mounts, besides looking like fucking dog shit, I mean, who doesn't love watching their favorite champions of the realm in rigor mortis taxidermized on top of a loud fucking motorbike that sticks through walls, unlike the animal mounts that are forced to face parallel to walls? I mean, for fuck's sake, these mounts are so old now, they still look fucking unfinished. Speaking of mounts, why are all the horses fucking silent? They're fucking horses! Koga, the ninja, has louder footsteps than a half-ton fucking animal. Like, fuck off with that shit. The prowlers and other mounts aren't quite silent, but all the horses have retained their ability to make zero noise since time immemorial. You get the idea. Like, just check the list. Like, the point is, how the fuck is this going uncontested? How can this even be remotely acceptable? They're clearly not capable of pumping this volume of skins to an acceptable professional quality. Like, did you even see that shimmy emote when it was released? Like, what the fuck is she doing? Why can't we force default skins on our clients? Or at least default sound effects? If fixing all these imbalances is impossible, and clearly it fucking is, just let me opt out of this shit and let me see nothing but default models and sounds for the rest of time. Frankly, I would take a skinless game over a game wrought with skin inconsistencies. Or skin consistencies. Please look at and study this diagram. Here you can see the flank champion, Xin, in his new habitat as given to him by his creator, Evil Mojo Games. This habitat is known as a bin. This diagram can therefore be summed up as Xin in the bin. What you don't see here is that every other flank champion is propping him up beneath the rim of the bin, and Dredge, and Torvald, all in view of the lavish mansion that Cassie and Leon have been living in since their respective births. This is a really powerful diorama I've created. Like, it's so beautiful. Like, I'm actually fucking crying. Now, how did this company decide to balance things? Because of win rates. Win rates that we cannot ever see because those stats aren't public, and the better meta has died. Essentially, they aim for 50% win rate across all playlists. I wasn't able to find if this included bot matches, and I fucking hope it doesn't. Else I'm going to start a campaign to make people throw in bot matches as buck. Is it really that good to be obeying the win rates this hard to the point that you run the risk of alienating your community at some level? Or all levels? At my level, all people complain about, other than these 32 other things, is that Cassie and Leon are seemingly balanced to the devs and never receive any nerfs worth a fuck, despite them violating the end to the burst meta promise they made several million years ago. So why in the fuck did you fucking implement the AOC, the voice of the community, if you're not going to listen to them and tell them clearly bullshit reasons why you won't do things? You keep saying that you can't nerf Leon because she's too fragile and she'll be dead with a single nerf. I would actually like to know what you have considered in the past. It's not good enough to keep saying, no, we can't do that. Like, what have you actually considered? She needs to be stopped from being able to kill anyone she likes in less than 3/4 of a second, where 1/4 to 1/3 of her damage comes for free. A post-fire nerf, an eminence damage amp nerf, Make presence not a weapon shot. Reduce her health. Fucking anything! You are procrastinating. You're making excuses for longer than I have about uploading this fucking video. I was never one to believe that they don't nerf characters because they sell a lot of skins, but I am starting to fucking believe it. Exhibit B. Now you're saying you want to buff Buck, when he's already capable of 2,000 bursts with Bounce House, which has the added bonus of interrupting any mobility skill, including Shoulder Bash, Rocket Boot, Soar, and the major difference here is that any knockback wouldn't affect those skills. Yet Bounce House will knock back and immediately end the skill, incurring the cooldown. By the time you've landed from that skill, you're dead, your mobility has been spent, and even if you aren't dead, he has 2,990 effective health, not including recovery, because there's only one viable Bounce House deck which all involves 30% DR. And sometimes your intentions are in the right place, but your reasoning is absolutely fucking atrocious. You changed Kraken from a zoning ult, or a combo ult, into an ult that is completely fucking useless. Now I ask you, why didn't you do the same to Sky's ult? They are so functionally similar, it's surprising you didn't change Time Bomb to be the same fucking useless ult. Sky can't ult to win a duel, so we're changing Time Bomb to do 2 damage after 1.9 seconds. Why didn't you do that? Never mind that the developer commentary underneath the change directly contradicts itself in 2 adjacent fucking sentences. Reduced effectiveness with a more effective ultimate. You could have at least used a different fucking word. How out of touch are you? This change was not a fucking buff. I can count you the number of times I have hit the new Kraken on 2 hands. And I can count you the number of times I have killed someone with the new Kraken on no hands. Frontlines don't even give a fuck about it anymore. They'll stand in it. It's so harmless to them that they'll rather get the extra point capture tick, even if it means taking, a little bit of fucking damage. That 4,000 damage was a good deterrent to a frontline, and now it's nothing. And on top of that, the reload projectile's base damage got nerfed for no good reason, as if you're unable to tune Scuttle and no Scuttle separately. How the fuck is 2,600 less damage and the nerf to the reload projectile, base and Scuttle, offset by 0.3 seconds off the fuse time and a negligible knockback increase? 0.3 seconds. The reasoning you gave of making the fuse time only shorter by that much is because you said that, Kraken's pre-fire time was removed, so actually, before the patch, you actually had 2.6 seconds to react to Kraken instead of 2. Well, that's fucking wrong, though. How the hell is a player meant to react to Kraken before the Kraken has appeared on the map? Are you telling me that when people hear
Really?
in-game, that's it, just
Really?
they hear that, and they've already reacted to the Kraken and are already moving out of it before it's fucking appeared? Oh, man. I get fucking animated, like, when I talk about your fucking antics, I swear to God. But I gotta remember, swear less, and scream /shout less, and state the problems clearly with examples to back it all up. Because clearly, I didn't do any of those things in the last fucking video. You can't balance everyone around 50%. By doing that, you believe that every champion will be as easy to win with for every single player. You've admitted yourself that some champions are harder to play. So why should they all have the same win rate? Surely harder champions should have a lower win rate. You clearly know this in some way too, because you aren't giving Strix and Kinessa 2,000 damage a shot. Like, look how low they fucking are. But when you make changes, such as making Xin into a reskin of Andrew, in that you want him to max his F distance and his F reset on Q, just like Andrew does, it begs the fucking question. How much do you play your own game? I actually want to see. Like, I actually want some names. I actually want to see your profiles, and I just want to see your champion levels and what you play. Like, I just want to look you up on Paladins Guru, that's all. Just to confirm that you fucking play the game. Why does Xin need to be another Andrew? Like, why couldn't he keep his unique selling point of variable billow length? Isn't that part of his identity by now, after 30 or more patches of him having this trait? Do champions really need to adhere to the class definitions, so poorly defined as they are anyway? Like, Martini said this.
Our flanks are usually defined by being slightly more mobile than our damage characters, having a little bit more burst, and having discrete moments of intense survivability.
a discrete moment of extreme survivability. Apparently, all the flanks are characterized by this. Okay, so how is stealth a form of high survivability? If you use that mid-fight, you'll get pulled out of it instantly because of how nameplates just don't disappear with your model. And in the new patch, you'll just be tracked anyway because your damage numbers will now appear. How is Ice Block a discrete amount of time when you're allowed to cancel it? How is that any better than the old Billow, where you chose before the game how long it was? There were only 6 possible lengths of Billow. Meanwhile, there are a few hundred lengths of Ice Block. What the fuck is Lex's high survivability? Like, is F? Like, that doesn't do anything. And you can cancel it, so it's not even discrete. And you can make it longer through loadouts. Like, it violates every fucking word in that phrase.
Of intense survivability?
And if you truly believe that 50% win rate is the way to go and you're willing to die on this hill, then please increase your transparency. Show us your process. Show us exactly what you assess when making balance decisions. With some transparency involved in the equation, we'd be able to accept more of what you do. I'm not saying that I know how to balance the game. You probably know better than we do. But from over here, it seems like you have no idea what the fuck you're doing. But if you do know what you're doing, then please explain how you know what you are doing. It's that simple. Oh well, it's not the end of 2019 yet. Matchmaking. This has become a problem mostly because of the crossplay implementation that happened in patch 2.02. Where there was apparently a hard elo reset to accommodate for the new leagues that are about to form. It has always been a point of contention in every competitive game. So I know it's kind of a moot point to be putting this on my second Why I Hate Paladins video, but this still does contribute to why I hate the game. Instead of rolling gameplay footage for this segment, I will be cycling through every bad matchup that my Discord server put together since I began scripting the video in April. And I got a lot, so I've got plenty of time to fucking talk. What you're looking for in these games is some sort of imbalance in the average level of the teams, or the average elo of the teams. Now, I know this isn't the official matchmaking measurement, and we'll never know what our true elo is, or how the matchmaking actually works, but fuck that. You can't dismiss the fact that these games look like unbalanced horseshit. We don't need to know how it works, as long as it produces turds that we aren't happy with. We could be unhappy about it. I mean, like, how can the matchmaker create these games and create them with such certainty that it gives us these games well before the 12-minute mark? You've got games where it puts all the party players against all the solo players, a 5-stack against way worse players, salaried players playing with people who installed the game the day fucking before. Like, what are the standards for this fucking matchmaker? There's also this thing that the matchmaker does where it expects you to carry a weight far beyond human limits, as if the skill of a player is a linear curve that goes upwards infinitely. And since this is a team-based game, when you've got 2 weak links like this, you're playing with a ball and chain and are hampered to the point where you're easily overcome by anyone even half decent. Oh, brilliant. A level 17 and a level 30 have found their way into a ranked match against a level 729. What a great and awesome way to ease someone into this game. Yeah, I know they could be Smurfs, but I'm very doubtful because their win rates are hard stuck at 50%. Smurfs nonetheless wreak havoc on any matchmaking system, obviously, but the reason people Smurf is because their main account is no longer a good learning environment for their weaker champions, or because they just want to flex on the new players and make them quit. Ah yes, this Buck playing on the Nintendo Switch is the best match we could find for this 4-stack of players who have been playing for years, one of whom is a PML player. Sure, balance, great, send it. This will really make the fucking players stick around, you know? Like, these guys already have 40% win rate in Siege, and now they're being given matches that they have no chance to win. Like, just stop the fucking music for a second. Fucking explain to me now how in the fuck this match comes to be. Not a single fucking variable of this match is balanced in the slightest. In all the infinite possibilities of the infinite number of universes that possibly exist, there isn't a single one where this game came out as a balanced game. Like, how the fuck does this fucking happen? Imagine you're that Vivian who's on their 2nd game with her and you get this match. Guess I'll die. Jesus fucking Christ. And this happens more often than you think. Like, these probably don't have Reddit accounts So the general public aren't going to hear about this on the daily. But this is one of the worst instances of bad matchmaking I have ever fucking seen in my life. Well done. Bravo. Gold star. Trophy. Nobel Prize. Like, honestly, the matchmaker really hates these fucking console players, doesn't it? No mercy. Oh, I guess it's fine now. Like, the Atlas and Fira were both bots. Lovely. All is balanced. You get the idea. Like, the rest of these matches follow the same themes. And you know what I'd like to call matches like these? Cutscenes. These games are cutscenes. You are queuing to watch a cutscene of yourself winning or losing. Your actions do not have any impact on the game. You are helpless to the outcome of the match. The outcome has been preordained to you since before you ever selected a champion. You have no agency in the fucking match. You may as well sit back and enjoy the show because you've got no say in how the game goes since it's so fucking badly balanced. I despise these games because it's just a waste of my fucking time. Remember, when you say that you had a 6-minute stomp, you were actually playing for about 3 to 4 minutes because you spent 2 minutes in the spawn room and potentially a minute staring at the loading screen and about 30 seconds staring at the defeat screen and watching the top play. I said it before and I'll say it again. In cutscenes, you are waiting more than you play. I do not launch paladins to have my hands off the fucking controllers. I know matchmaking is one of the hardest problems there is in a competitive game like this, and is possibly a problem that has no elegant solution, but for fuck's sake, how did I receive this many anomalous games within a day of accepting bad matchmaking samples? Like, this many horribly anomalous games. I would gladly wait longer in the queue if it meant there was little to no chance of cutscenes happening. The fact of the matter is, most of these games were formed in under 4 minutes, and some in under 1 minute. And my question is, why is the matchmaker so sure of the quality of these games? What happened since crossplay to cause this sudden increase in cutscenes and decrease in match quality? Like, what happened since crossplay? I think we need to revert it, honestly. Another problem with the matchmaking is that it doesn't care how crash prone someone is. And while that may not necessarily be their fault, since this game is as unstable as a dying fucking star, it should seriously reflect on people's MMR when they are frequently out of the game when it ends. I noticed you were trying to reduce the amount of people on shitty 2007 Dell Optiplex PCs by purging all the 32-bit machines and preventing them from playing. Even though that didn't work, because you can still launch this game in 32-bit mode if you have the standalone launcher, which you tried to take off the website, but is still being circulated around via direct downloads, so there are still some people crawling around on 32-bit clients. Huh, maybe that actually didn't work at all, I guess. Maybe you should try a little harder with that? Because there are still some people crashing every other fucking game. And while they might not necessarily be on a 32-bit client, it's probably more likely that they are still on a 32-bit client. And let's not forget all the people who are on consoles, especially the Nintendo Switch, and they really can't control how often they fucking crash. That is literally all up to you. And the problem goes further than the people that just crash all the time. It's also the people that leave all the time and don't get fucking punished for it. Look at this guy. I'm not even going to censor his name because he doesn't fucking deserve it. He doesn't deserve the privacy. He deserves the fucking name and shame. This guy's left 651 games. 651 times this person has pressed the quit game button because he doesn't want to fucking play a game he's losing. Like, I know I just went on for like 7 minutes about how matchmaking shit and I hate cutscenes, I hate watching myself lose, but at least I fucking try. At least I try. I've only left 31 games in the last 2 or 3 years, and this guy has left 651 of them, and he's still playing. He's still playing! Like, for fuck's sake! Would it kill you to do a little bit of spring cleaning? You're clearly capable of scraping players for their stats. I mean, this was on your own fucking Discord. So why can't you just run a little database check? Well, I know, it's not little, but still, run something that purges this filth. This section is for everything else that can't constitute a section on its own. I'll start with the health bar. The health bar in this game is probably one of the least useful fucking health bars I have ever seen. The problem can easily be illustrated if I just do this to the footage. Now try and read my fucking health. This is what I see when I play paladins, because I have a 24-inch monitor and play on borderless windowed. I can barely see how depleted my health bar is, and I have absolutely no hope of reading that health number. In a game where numbers matter and breakpoints exist, and part of the game is knowing how many shots your enemy needs to kill you in a duel, and correct usage of your defensive abilities is key, not knowing your health without taking your eyes off your crosshair is a game designing sin. There are several layers to this issue. First of all, the health bar has 3 modes. Blue for 100% to about 66%, red for about 33% until you're dead, and the zone in the middle is this really unhelpful fading between blue and red, which encompasses like the middle 33% of the health bar. You know how some health bars in, you know, like every other game ever made operate with 3 wildly different colors like red, yellow, and green? That's because you can use these colors to guesstimate your health without having to look directly, like, oh, my health just turned yellow, I should be careful now. But with this health bar, you have no such feedback. Why is my health still showing the color blue until I'm basically one-shot? The health bar even used to have a yellow region, but they fucking removed it. Why? Why'd you fucking remove it? The second problem is that the health number is tucked away in the bottom left, and on my screen, it's practically invisible. I may as well not have that info on my screen at all. Again, this isn't a problem in most games with health bars where you don't need to make microsecond decisions, but here in our burst meta that is allegedly over, you need this information right there as soon as possible. Now, ideally, I would have this health number right under my crosshair, and I'd just get rid of the health bar on the bottom left completely. Just move the health number straight under my crosshair, and that's it. I don't even need to know the max health. I just want my current health in the center of my screen. It's not blocking anything, it's right in my field of view. I can pay attention to it and the person shooting me at the same fucking time. The thing is, I was able to do this in Dirty Bomb because they had a customizable UI. That was the thing it had going for it, rest in peace. But I already know the answer here is going to be along the lines of, our game is several generations worth of hereditary diseases brought on by the developers before us. It's a shame, we probably will never see a better health bar, but whatever. A thing related to health is the death recap. It's so bad, it does not fucking work. So many times I know who killed me, and there's a 50% chance that the death recap is going to show me that Barrett killed me because he did 71 damage to me with a fucking turret. The removal of overkill damage, as I mentioned before, also stretches the death recap, which means you don't know how hard someone could have hit you for. The hit counts are almost always completely fucking wrong. Headshots are often completely omitted from the recap or show up as a hit of 0 damage. How? How is this thing so fucking broken? You used to have live damage recaps in the form of a combat log way back in closed beta, which, by the way, is still in the fucking options menu and currently does fucking nothing. You removed a working functionality, even if it was screen clutter, it still fucking worked, and then you replaced it with something just flat out worse, and then you don't even remove it from the options. If more than 3 people hit me, the person who killed me is usually nowhere to be seen, and the damage numbers on the recap don't even add up to my max health. That ain't even my title! Those aren't their titles either. Who the hell is this? They're not even in the fucking lobby. Screen shake. In order to get across my point, I'm going to shake the footage for the entire time I talk about this. Is this fun? Is this immersive for you? Do you like playing in the middle of an earthquake? Now here's what it's like to be shot by Grok or Willow. Epilepsy warning, by the way. Yeah, that's really fucking immersive, isn't it? When I'm shot by lightning, the reaction I get is a small but still off-putting kick to the top right. All the fast-firing characters inflict massive amounts of screen shake to people that they hit. And it's just so fucking annoying and needless. Sound design, especially 3D audio. There is no such thing as 3D audio in this game. Marauder's Port really illustrates this well. Just go play Marauder's Port for a bit. And you'll find that if you're on one level, and someone's on the other level below or above you, and right next to you, you'll hear them as if they're breathing down your asshole, yet they are way far away from you. Audio balancing is also a fucking joke. Like I mentioned before, Koga has the loudest footsteps in the game, and he's meant to be a ninja. Some characters have almost no footsteps, and other characters also don't have footsteps, but they just emit a noise for as long as they fucking live. Furia won't stop playing a fucking church organ, and Ying has left her hairdryer on, and Genos, well, he's making a fucking noise as well. I'm running out of jokes. Blasters knocking back on their left clicks. The only blaster who doesn't knock back on their left click is Dredge, who also happens to be the newest blaster. This stinks of legacy design to me. Knockback on left click is, as far as I'm concerned, legacy design and has no fucking place in this game. Where this really irritates me is when you're playing Genos and you're being harassed by a blaster. You can't land while you're in Stellar Wind because their left clicks are going to keep you airborne and rob you of all of your control. Likewise, when you're playing Mana Rift Amani, if you're being knocked around by left clicks, you can't place a Mana Rift down, even if your hands are off the fucking keyboard. These knockbacks can even cause you to suffer mid-air inaccuracy for the 0.3 microseconds that you're aloft. RNG overtime. This is very hard to explain without a diagram, so here you go. This is what I drew in MS Paint. This is how I explain this phenomenon. Here are two timelines running in parallel. One shows the timeline for point capture ticks, and the other shows the timeline for the overtime timer. The overtime timer is always triggered at the same time as a point capture tick. However, the overtime ticks gradually shorten in length. This means that when you trigger overtime, there could be anywhere from a millisecond to 2 seconds after the overtime bar has disappeared, until the point is captured, or double overtime starts. This essentially means you can't count on having that grace period after overtime has expired, which means you can win or lose games simply based off an uncontrollable variable. It just happens. Why isn't there a fixed period of time after overtime until the point can be captured? I don't care if it's 0 seconds like Overwatch, or 2 seconds. Just have it fucking constant. King of the Hill, or as it should be called, King of the Spawn algorithm, or King of the Dice. Hey guys, here's an idea. Let's use our TDM spawn algorithm, and then place it in a mode with a moving capture point. Alright man, I like that idea. Let's think about what we need to do to the spawn algorithm, so that will make the gameplay fair for... What do you want about? Work? It already works! Just fucking make a point, move on a map, and that's it! I'm a fucking genius! We've got infinite content as long as I'm on the team. How did anyone in the office think that it was fine to leave the algorithm untouched? You will have games where you are spawned on the point, not near it. You will be spawned on it. Alternatively, you'll be spawned on the other side of the fucking map. You know how most games do their spawns with a King of the Hill or a hardpoint game mode? They weight spawns nearer to the hardpoint way lower, and those on a small donut around it higher, so that spawns are generally always pretty equidistant from the point. But here at Evil Mojo Games, we don't fucking care. We'll just let an entire team respawn on the point, or we'll just let the point spawn underneath somebody, because fuck it. We have the time to further dilute our game modes. Did you not learn from when you combine TDM and Onslaught? Nobody liked that shit. But we don't have the time to make the new game modes worth 2 watery shits. Good job. You'd think by making a version of Onslaught that further emphasizes the point rather than killing, that they would do some work on the spawn algorithm to prevent such calamities as this. But no. For fuck's sake. What do you all do in meetings? Is everyone just too scared to be confrontational so they don't criticize anything and permit such stupid decisions like this? Are your code reviews 6-second encounters of, yep, go ahead and push it, looks good. Do you even do code reviews? Why am I talking about this? This doesn't even require a code review. This is just a simple application of common sense. Hey man, I think it's a little stupid to spawn on top of the point, except in those rare edge cases. Did anyone bother saying that? Evidently not. I did quit this game in January, but after going through that process, honestly, I don't think I can be bothered to go through it again. I am in an eternal orbit around the son of suck that is Paladins, with the hope that one day it will become better. I still enjoy the core of this game, and I'll wait until that light finally goes out. Since making my last video, the game industry has been stinking of shit from all angles, which thankfully I've only really had to spectate while feeling a mix of bewilderment and disappointment. Fallout 76 and Bethesda's rapid death by dementia was a sight to behold, and truly one of the most grand train wrecks of our time. Which it would have been until Anthem sat its fat ass on top of the already burning wreckage. This is in no way a they're worse so we're great argument. They are worse, but we are still terrible. It's always important to keep the bigger picture in mind. The player count has been sinking constantly and briefly rose a bit just before I uploaded this video, but it's still kind of worrying. Yes, there are console populations to consider as well, but then there are yet again the different regions to consider too. I'm just going to assume that all the console player bases combined could probably bring us back up to the 60k concurrent peak that the game was once at. However, it really doesn't feel like we have 60,000 players at any one time. It feels like there's 60. The number of people who are way below my level and shouldn't be in my lobby is rising gradually with time. Because the old players with tenure are getting fed up with the bullshit, and new players find it even more testing to stick with this game for 100 levels or more. The cardinal sin that doomed this game from the start was reusing so much of the Smite code such that there are countless artifacts left over from the shoddy copy and paste job. And given that none of the original developers work on the game anymore, straight from the horse's mouth, that leaves a whole team of developers left to finesse their way around outdated legacy code with every single change they want to make. This game was born defective. A bad decision made perhaps 5 years ago has led us to the present day. You know, I made this video as a second helper to the devs to say, hey, point your eyes here this time. But lately I've been seeing some shit, and so have all of you. The checkmark drama with Cyberbolt shines a light on how inept some of the developers are at handling their critics. And that includes me, potentially. If fucking Cyberbolt is being called toxic, then what the fuck am I? I must be the most powerful form of ionizing radiation. Sure, you could call me helpful, but I haven't been nice at all, and in my opinion, it's rightfully so. My patience wears thin with the dumb, ill-conceived decisions that go on behind the scenes. However, the title of this video still stands. I hate this game less than I did last November. In that time period, we had so many more negative aspects to this game. Eminence might be bad today, but Death and Taxes felt even worse to play against. Related to that, several champions having caught 2.5 at the start of the game was such a meme of bad design. Before I pointed it out, Marauder's Port and Dragon Arena were in such disrepair. Now they hold up pretty well, minus all the spawn algorithm bullshit, and the spawn trapping you can do on Marauder's Port. Of course, everyone who's commenting on this video that I'm a fucking toxic piece of shit who's just doing a second video to capitalize on the attention the first one got, hasn't got to this point in the video, so they're not going to hear this shit. So, really, why do I put a conclusion anyway? I should really put this at the start if I ever do a third episode. I honestly have very little hope for this game, but it is in a better state, and I can be grateful for that. However, the state is far from what I'd call something presentable. Ultimately, I can't recommend this game to anyone, mainly because of the new player experience. I can forego every single bug that I pay attention to in all of my games. It's the new player experience that stops me telling any of my friends to come play Paladins with me. Imagine you're a level 15 and you own maybe like 14 champions, and then you get into a game, it's your second ever ranked game, and there's unbelievable television on the other fucking team. What the fuck do you do then? All your champions suck, you're bottom pick, and you only have Ruckus as a front line. What are you gonna do? Well, you gotta fucking pick Ruckus, haven't you? And then you lose. And that will keep happening to them. And I don't want that to happen to them. So I don't want them to play this fucking game. You could probably make the new player experience so much better without having to fix a single bug. Well, maybe you'll have to fix a few, but you won't have to fix all of them. And by the time you get enough new players to stick around, hopefully you'll have fixed enough of the bugs before they start paying attention to them. I say that's your best shot at reviving this game. Like I said at the start, maybe one day you'll get a why I like Paladins out of me. Sure, it won't be as long as these 2 videos were, but I really hope I don't have to make a fucking 3rd one. Please give me a reason to make a why I like paladins. I will give it an honest try. I will try and get that video as long as I can, because this game really does need some good coverage for once, but it really needs to fucking earn it. We've come a long way, but there's a longer way to go. The bottom line is, if I can't recommend this game to new people, why should I even make a video endorsing it to new people then?
I'm already dead.